Now, I think that if there is any Android phone that should be compared to the iPhone, it should be the Pixel phone. After all, both of these smartphone manufacturers have the two biggest smartphone operating systems right now, and that is Google with Android and Apple with iOS. Now, I've been using these two phones side by side for about a month plus now, and I've actually realized that there are a few things that can easily become deal breakers for anyone who just wants to pick one of them. And to keep this video as short as possible, I won't be focusing on the areas where both of these phones already excel. I'm talking about their designs, their display, their durability, and even their battery life. Where you really have to make key decisions is in three very important areas, and that is software/AI, camera performance, and of course, processing power. So I actually went out to personally see how good the cameras of these two phones are, and this is what I found. When it comes to ultra-wide shots from both phones, they look really good, but the real difference comes down to the processing tone. And this applies to almost every picture I took with the two phones. The Pixel consistently gave me this cooler, punchier look. Colors were way more vivid, contrast was really high, and the texture came out really sharper. It has this classic Pixel style where the photos looks really edited the moment you take them. The iPhone, on the other hand, stays true to the warmer, more natural feel that it's always known for. Colors feels a little more softer and more realistic. Skin tones looks truer to life, and the overall image processing just feels a lot less processed. It is almost like the Pixel is like trying to impress you instantly, while the iPhone is just keeping things really as close as possible to what your natural eyes can see. And even in low light, I feel like the Pixel 10 Pro still held its own really well. It did a great job maintaining the details and brightness in this picture, though personally, I think the iPhone took the way better pictures. Now, when it comes to zoom, I tried the limits on both phones, which is 40 times for the iPhone and 100 times for the Pixel 10 Pro. And the results look really impressive. Even at 100 times zoom for the Google Pixel, it still looked really good, even though of course we all know that it is heavily AI enhanced. Now let's switch to videos, where most people, including me, is always quick to crown the iPhone as the best when it comes to video recording. Now, in this clip shot at 4K 30 frames per second, the Pixel 10 Pro quality is actually really impressive side by side the iPhone. But in terms of stability, I think the iPhone video is a bit more stable. In this next video, the Pixel footage once again looks really vivid, high contrast and punchy, but at 2 times video zoom, you can already see it struggling to maintain that level of punchiness. And by 5 times zoom, it completely lost it, while the iPhone still holds up reasonably well. So for videos, the iPhone 17 Pro is definitely better. It's able to keep things more natural, more stable, and if you need to zoom in when you're recording videos, it still gives you way more better usable range. But then, let's face it, smartphone cameras are no longer just for taking pictures and recording videos. There's now so much more you can do with it. For example, it's a lot more convenient for me to shoot videos or take group photos with the front-facing camera of my iPhone 17 Pro, thanks to the new center stage feature. And this year, Apple also introduced the dual video mode that lets me record videos with both the front and the back cameras of my iPhone simultaneously and in good quality. On the other hand, the Pixel gives you so much more when it comes to camera features. The biggest one for me is the Add Me feature, which saves you the embarrassment of having to ask strangers to take you pictures and they just mess it up. You can just do it yourself and take very good pictures. Also, we have the camera coach, which is really useful if you don't know how to take shots. It can give you the directions you need to be able to take good shots of your loved one. Now, both of these phones also offer cinematic mode or blur, according to what Google calls it. But while the Pixel 10 Pro maxes out at 1080p in terms of quality, the iPhone can shoot cinematic mode up to 4K quality, which makes it a better option for people who want that high quality depth of field in their footage. Now, away from the cameras, when it comes to software, I think the biggest issue for the iPhone 17 Pro is the new iOS 26. I recently made a 2-month review where I basically complained about how iOS 26 is ruining my iPhone experience. Now, there are so many bugs and freezes which I have to deal with every day that just make doing basic things a hassle. On the other hand, Android 16 on the Google Pixel has been buttery smooth. Everything just works flawlessly as you would expect it to be. The animations are really fluid and the whole experience just feels way more stable and reliable. So ever since, I have found myself just using the Pixel phone more, except when I want to record videos for my shoots or for my YouTube videos, then I use my iPhone. And then there is AI, where obviously Apple is still struggling to figure things out for themselves, while Google is practically just soaring. And now, let's talk about processing power, where I know the iPhone faithfuls, those who love their iPhones to a fault, are definitely waiting to hear what I have to say about it. And yeah, it is true. When it comes to raw performance, when it comes to processing power, the Pixel 10 Pro is no way near the iPhone 17 Pro. But here is the honest truth. For a normal user, the Pixel 10 Pro is more than powerful actually. It can handle basically every task comfortably. So whether you are working, whether you are multitasking, whether you are browsing social media or editing with your phone, everything can be handled with the Pixel 10 Pro. The only people who will definitely feel the difference in terms of power between these two phones are those who are referred to as staunch gamers. You know, those who can play games non-stop for 4 to 6 hours a day. Yeah, for those kind of people, definitely the iPhone is the better choice. But for regular people like us who do things regularly, who live our life regularly, the difference isn't something you really notice in your everyday use. In fact, yesterday I had my friend play like a realistic gaming session with these two phones, and while I would say they really performed very well, the Pixel 10 Pro temperature went from 34 degrees centigrade to almost 40 degrees centigrade, which is like a 6-degree rise in temperature. While the iPhone only went from about 36 to 37, barely rising at all, thanks to the vapor cooling chamber inside it. So that definitely makes it better for power users. I mean, people who can shoot videos for a very long period of time with your phone, or those who game for a very long period of time. Yeah, this will definitely give you not just better performance, but better sustained performance over a period of time. So at the end of it all, I think the Pixel 10 Pro is really not far off from the iPhone 17 Pro, the way most people may be thinking. However, I can always say, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Let's just have the chat over there and just talk about how we feel about these two phones. And once again, don't forget to like this video if you haven't already done so, and subscribe to the channel for more reviews like this one. I'll catch you in the next one.